Hey everyone, my name is Matthew Ginzali and welcome to a brand new episode of a show I like to call Reasons to Live. Basically, it's a show dedicated specifically towards all of you out there watching this who struggle with suicidal thoughts like I once did, to remind you that there are dozens, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, decillion, infinite reasons why you should live. Now, before we get started, two things. Number one, and more importantly, how are you doing today? Number two, if you're wondering why I look like a bit of an idiot with a half-shaved face, it's because I was shaving a couple minutes before this and my razor died. So, yeah. But anyway, the topic of today's episode is philately, or stamp collecting. Now, I know what you might be saying to yourself. How is that a reason to live? I've never tried that, nor do I think I'll ever. And to that I say, I have never tried it myself. But here's the thing. You never know with a lot of these things in life if you don't give them a shot. If you just brush past them, then you're potentially taking away a reason to live away from yourself. You know what I mean? You got to go out there, try and experience things. And yeah, maybe philately might not be the hobby for you, but at least you can say you've tried or kept a couple cool little stamps from like the USSR, East or West Germany, or something like that. Something from a bygone era, a collector's thing. You never know unless you don't try. And even if it just brings you a little bit of joy, aren't you better off than before not have tried the hobby or given it a shot? At least you tried and at least you got something small out of it. If you don't get anything small out of it, again, it's better to have tried than not. And that's what life is. It's not perfect. It's not the best, much like this video. But what it is something you have to give a shot. So, I'm not even saying you necessarily have to give philately a shot. This episode will be more broadly geared towards those odd forgotten hobbies we don't think we'd enjoy. Like for me personally, welding. I am terrible at welding, and I almost blinded myself doing it because I forgot to pull the sheath down and started welding, and I fell out of the booth at my school onto the ground, covering my eyes. First thing I could see was just my teacher shaking his head. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, give the little often forgotten hobbies a shot. You never know what you might find, my friends. Now, before we go, might we have a quick 1v1 you and me? Now, down in the link in the description below, I put 5 mental health resources that you can use. I put the Trevor Project and the Trans Lifeline for our LGBT friends watching this. I put the National Sexual Assault Life Hotline. I apologize for our friends out there watching this who have struggled with anything along the lines of sexual assault. And I put the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and the Crisis Text Line for all of you out there watching this who struggle with suicidal thoughts. So, what I want you to do is you don't necessarily have to call in those resources right now if you don't feel like it. All I'm asking you to do, though, is click the first link in the description below when you're done listening to this. Basically, it takes you to an article by BuzzFeed News that explains what happens when you call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline or text the Crisis Text Line. It does a really, really great job of explaining that the anonymity you don't think you have or the situation gets taken out of your hands. It does a good job debunking that, is what I'm trying to say. So please give that a shot, okay? That was my computer. I apologize. And if you don't feel like calling that after, I've also put the web pages for all these mental health resources for you. So if you don't feel like calling just yet, you can check out their websites and all that and basically see what they're about. Check out the FAQ pages, stuff like that. Just bottom line, it's okay to reach out for help. I know it can be a very intimidating thing. Trust me, I did it too. And for weeks and months at a time, I would just be like, no, and brushed them aside. But when I did that, I wasn't giving myself a fair shot. So all I'm asking you to do is to consider reaching out, okay? You can get better. I believe in you. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. But more importantly, I hope my words today were able to help you in any way possible. My name is Matthew Ginzali. I need to shave. And remember, there's always a reason to smile. Da-da, da-da.